Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and do a review of the Victorinox Rambler and to go from there, and why, for me, I think this is actually the perfect pocket tool. And what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about a bunch of different pocket tools. So the Mini Champ, we're going to talk about the Rebar, we're going to talk about the Wingman, we're going to talk about the Surge and the Wave Plus, and I'm going to talk about how, in many ways, those tools don't really work for me. And for me, my use case is actually just these two tools alone, and to go from there. So really quick, I love this particular tool because it has everything I need and nothing I don't, right? So to recap, basically, it has scissors here. These are, in my opinion, these scissors are actually better than every Leatherman scissors. I've tested many Leathermans and was very disappointed in their scissors. And this has a screwdriver, which is magnetic, and this has actually come in really handy many times. And it also has a bottle opener here. Also right here, it has a screwdriver and a file at the end. And then finally, it also has a standard poking knife. You'll notice I don't have a big blade. That's because I don't want a big blade. I don't care about a big blade. That's not what I use. So understandably, I understand that other people want that in a tool set like this. But for me, I don't care about that. The second thing that I think is really important that people should understand and know is that, so for most people who are electricians, this part of the plier is important. Basically, the ability to cut and strip cables or wires or things like that. But I have to be honest with you that for me, just a regular person, I never use that aspect of these particular pliers. All I care about is the pliers aspect. So for me, I find that the Knipex are, in my opinion, if you factor out the ability to cut the wire, the Knipex is actually a much more useful plier for me. But let's go ahead and go through the beginning and go from there. So again, this is a Rambler, and sometimes I hear that people will recommend the Champ a lot. But to me, I actually think the Rambler, for my use case, is better than the Mini Champ. So I'll tell you why. So we both have the same tools here. We have the same tool right here. We also have scissors. We also have a small blade, right? So we also have files, right? Now, this I don't care about. That's useless to me. I don't care about a ruler. I don't need a little orange peeler. I don't need this. So why am I buying a tool that is giving me junk? Like basically a bunch of junk that I don't need. So because of that reason, I don't care about the Mini Champ. This is actually a better tool than the Mini Champ. So that goes out of the way. Let's go over the free P2, which is this right here. Again, this has pliers, but like I said, I don't use the cutters of pliers. So if I'm only caring about pliers, this small XS, it's the XS version of the Knipex, is really, really compact. This weighs 2 ounces. This weighs 1 ounce. 3 ounces total. A lot of these tools here are 12 ounces. They're a lot heavier. So if I'm not using the pliers here, right, then that's out. Then it has all these other little tools here, which I already have on here. Then basically it has a screwdriver. I already have a screwdriver. This has scissors, right? I have better scissors here than on here. So in my opinion, the free P2 doesn't really do much for me because you basically don't have anything that's different from what I need. Let's go to the next tool, the Leatherman Wingman here, right? Again, I don't use the cutting aspect of these pliers. So this plier doesn't do anything for me. So that leaves me with a file. I already have a file. Can opener, I already have a can opener, right? So scissors, I have better scissors than you, right? So that's done. Screwdriver, I already have a screwdriver. Flathead, I already have a flathead. What does that leave me with? A big fat knife, which I don't care. I don't care about fat knives, right? I just have never had a use for them, so that's out. Now let's go on the Rebar. Same story. I don't care about the pliers here. I don't care about the saw. I don't care about the saw, but I understand and respect the fact that other people do. But for me, I don't care about that. I don't care about a big knife. These tools I already have in mine. So in my opinion, this is redundant. I don't need this. In other words, these two tools right here, which costs less and weighs less, and in my opinion is individually more effective, is just a far better setup. Like this is just basically so easy to carry, so lightweight, and This actually weighs less than all of these, and individually are far more powerful. All right, let's go over with the last one here. The most popular ones, the Surge and the Wave. So what does the Surge and the Wave have? Again, they've got the pliers here. I don't care about the pliers, so that's out. They have, let's see, a big knife. I don't care about the big knife. They have a file. I already have that. They have a can opener. I don't need that. They have scissors. I have better scissors, right? And so let me just demonstrate really quick like how good these scissors are, because in my opinion, you got to see it. I mean, these are really good scissors. Like, even though they're so small. And the funny thing is that the Compact, which is a larger version of this, has actually better scissors than these, but these are still, no joke, these are good. This is a zip tie, right? Zip ties are generally kind of hard to cut. And this is just a standard, whatever. Takes a little bit of finagling, but look, I just cut that down, right? I mean, that's pretty much most of the things I need to cut, right? This is a USB cable, right? And I'm just going to demonstrate. It takes a little bit of finagling, right? But as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and cut it with a scissor right here. It takes a little bit of finagling, but it can be done. But look at that. I just cut it right there. Cut it finagling. These are damn good scissors. And this is what I use all the time. But these scissors are better than these scissors. So what does that leave me with? It leaves me with the bit driver. And that's what they have. That's the only reason why you would consider, for me, the value proposition. But here's the thing, and I want this to be clear. What is the person who has a Surge carrying in their pocket? So they're carrying the Surge, and they have, one bit? No, they're going to carry much more bits. They're carrying, all these other bits, right? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they have it, But here's the thing. I don't need to carry this with me. I can have this in a bag to the side. So most people, they have a bag. They put this in here, and they put all the bits in there, right? Or they access it. Well, if you have a bag, then there is no competitive advantage. It's the same. In other words, basically, what is the key differentiator? It's a bit driver with bits. And most likely than not, these people are not carrying all these bits and this thing in their pocket because it's way too heavy, right? So what are they carrying? This is not being carried in their pocket. This is going to go inside a bag like this. Well, if you have a bag, I have a bag too. So I can basically use something that's better than all that. This is better than that. I could say if I need to go with something else, I can go with this. This is better than that. If I need to go like this, I can use a standard screwdriver, which is better than that, or if I need to go something like this, really simple, really easy, tons of torque, very cheap. This is far better than that. Basically, what I'm trying to say, or I can just go standard schmandard. I could just go basically with a standard screwdriver, right? And with whatever bits I need to bring with me. But the point I'm trying to say is you're not carrying this in your pocket with all those bits. These are likely going to go in a little pouch. And if you're using a pouch, well, I can use a pouch too. So what? In other words, what I'm saying is, what am I actually carrying in my pocket? It's this, right? This is what I'm actually carrying in my pocket. If I need to get a screwdriver, I have a screwdriver in a bag right there. But this is in my pocket. Same story with the Wave. Let's go with the Wave here. This Wave right here, pliers right here, I don't need it, right? This little scissor, dinky rinky scissor, this is a better scissor, so take that out. Big old knife here, I don't care about your big knife, right? So what, saw? I don't care about your saw. You got a little flathead, I already have a flathead. What do you got? You got a little tiny little precision little thing like that. If I need to go precision, again, I can go reach inside my bag and I can get precision. If I need to get precision, I can get but I'm not saying I would, but I'm just saying I can get as much precision as I want to and get it really, really pat down for a fraction of the cost of this. This thing's only $20 and I'm going to have way more options than anything that, right? So what does that leave us? That leaves us with the bit driver right here. Again, are they carrying this with a bunch of bits? All these bits, are they carrying all, however bits they're carrying in their pocket? Are they carrying all these big? No, they're not carrying this in their pocket. This is all going in a bag. Well, if you're using a bag, there is no competitive advantage, right? Because I have a bag too. So I can basically have access to all the bits, and I can use a screwdriver which has everything. I can use something like this, which is really simple, and just basically bust out screws when I need to and have what I need to have, right? So the point I'm trying to say is, why would I need a Wave Plus when I don't use your pliers, when I don't use your knives, when I already have all these tools? The only key differentiator is this bit driver. but you're not carrying the bit driver in your pocket along with a bunch of bits. I mean, I guess you could, maybe, but most people don't. These are going to go in a small, tiny bag. And if you have a small, tiny bag, well, you know what I mean? Like, in other words, this is about 12 ounces, right? This is 12 ounces. This right here, this setup here, which is what I pretty much use all the time, this is 3 ounces. But in my opinion, this covers, as I've kind of demonstrated here, at least for my use cases, this basically, all these tools are just, they're not as good as just this simple combo right here, which is basically a Rambler and a Knipex. Again, I really want to reiterate this in the fact that I'm not an electrician. So I never, I never am using the cutter aspect of wires. I can't remember the last time I actually had to cut wires. I don't cut wires. So I imagine that if you're the person who cuts wires, it's an entirely different story, and everything I'm talking about is hogwash. But if it's just a regular person just using a plier for the sake of pliers, in my opinion, these pliers are better than all of these Leatherman pliers. This is just flat out better, like hands down. I am always wowed and amazed by this Knipex plier. It's so good. And these are better scissors. So these two are pretty much all I need, is what I'm trying to say. All right, you guys have a great one. All right, bye.